Hey everyone, welcome. Today I have Emmanuel here with me. Emmanuel went from making 12 to $15 an hour to earning a bachelor's and a master's degree in just 11 months. In today's video, we're going to talk to Emmanuel and we're going to teach you how he did it. First off, Emmanuel, congratulations. This is amazing. And thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, thank you.
Bachelor's and master's in 11 months. It sounds unreal. It doesn't sound possible. Did you surprise yourself with this?
I kind of did. Honestly, I kind of did.
And you came pretty far. You went from basically zero to hero really quickly. Um, can you just tell us how?
If someone were to ask me, I would tell them about a degree hacking program that you taught me. I would say that there's a competency-based schools that let you test out of classes, and really simply put, you basically just study for the test to pass out of the class, and you don't have to learn stuff that is basically it's a system that teaches you how to focus on only the things that you need. And you cut out hours and hours and weeks, and you just cut out a whole bunch of stuff that would literally take you 6 years if you just cut all that out. I just learned how to cut that out and study only what I need, and I did it. I passed school really fast.
It's awesome and it is so much different. Like we call this degree hacking. It's so much different than being a traditional student. Traditionally, we are doing homework assignments and reading textbooks and quizzes and study guides and lesson plans and all this stuff that most of us just hate about college. Well, with degree hacking, you don't do any of that stuff. You just learn what you need to learn and you test out of your classes, or sometimes you write an essay to pass a class instead of taking the entire class. So instead of being in class for 4 months or 5 months, you can go through classes as quickly as a couple of days, sometimes even faster than that. Obviously, Emmanuel, you just did 6 plus years of school, 6 years of school, which actually would take most people like 8 years. You did it in
Yeah.
11 months. Were you were you working while you were doing this, or were you a full-time student?
No, I did. I had a full-time job, and then I was just focusing on school in my on my days off and my free time. If I didn't have a job, I would have been able to do it even faster.
It's insane. It's crazy. The crazy thing is, like, I did this. I did it in 9 months, a bachelor's degree in 9 months. You did your bachelor's degree in 8 months and your master's in 3 months.
Yep.
And we're pretty normal guys. I just feel like we're pretty generally normal guys, right? I've
I would
seen
say
work
so.
stay-at-home moms do this. I've seen all sorts of people do this, but you don't have to be a genius. Am I right?
No, no, I'm definitely no genius. You don't have to be a genius, that's for sure. I was actually I really didn't do that well in school. Like I was far from there was kids in high school who did the IB courses, AP, like these are all they were doing like trigonometry and second chemistry and I was in all regular classes, mo most regular classes, and I wasn't even getting A's in those or sometimes not even B's. So I'm far from being like a genius, and having done this and being a genius, you don't have to be a genius.
Just have a normal brain like us. Now, you did attempt college after high school and you dropped out just like I did. We're fellow dropouts, I guess you'd say. Before you dropped out, what was your college experience like?
So I went to a local university here where I live. So I was actually commuting to school and going to classes there. And I did okay, like in some classes, but other classes I didn't do so well, like I barely passed. And some other classes, I literally would just walk up to the front door. Like this one class, I walked up to the front door on the first day, took a deep breath, and literally just said, I'm not doing this, and just got back in my car and drove home. Like I literally couldn't go through with that traditional sitting in a wooden desk listening to a teacher talk for like several hours. I just couldn't do it, honestly.
Well, most of us, like when you graduate high school, you get this feeling like I did it, right? And then you
Yep.
jump right into college and you're like, oh no, I'm not done yet. It just keeps going. And it's 4 more years or 6 more years. No, thank you. I was the same way. I dropped out pretty quickly. I just had no desire. I hated school. Now, let's flash forward to several years later. You decided to do this degree hacking thing. How was it different? Like your experience of going through school as a traditional student versus hacking the degree?
Nobody really told you, nobody told me anyway, some people know, but nobody told me about how college is. And I just wasn't prepared, I think. I didn't go in there. Some people have parents who are like professors who are like, these are the classes you take, and they even have like, they've even went through the same classes. Some of them might have even had like, so it's easier for some kids. But when I went in there, I didn't really understand like why, if I'm going to be like, for instance, a hotel and restaurant manager, why do I need to know astronomy, and why do I need to know like algebra 2 and science? And so I was basically learning a bunch of stuff that, I was just like, if I'm going to be a hotel and restaurant manager, why do I need to know these things? And so I would, I wasn't able to focus on those classes. So basically I wasn't prepared going in the first time to college, but after taking your course, I knew exactly what to look for. I knew exactly what school to go to. I knew exactly the program I was going to join. I knew everything. Everything was step by step, and I just followed the steps. And that's what I think the preparation and the knowing helped me a lot. Like it made it a lot easier than kind of just going in blind and deaf, just walking into a university and being like, all right, guys, I'm here, ready to learn, but you don't have that, you're not prepared, you don't have direction. And, they're doing it, they're basically doing it the hardest way possible versus being taught how to do it the easiest way possible, which has made all the difference.
Here's the thing, and I can understand this from a business perspective, but it drives me crazy. Universities, the way that they're structured is because they're businesses. They're not out of the kindness of their hearts, just let me teach you so you can have a great career, right? They want to put you through their rigorous system that takes a really long time because you're paying every semester more money. That like we're their customers and they want to keep selling us their product, which is school, for a long period of time. And that's why they're structured how they are. What we're talking about here is you're just kind of taking the control out of the university's hands and you're just doing what you have to do to get that degree. And it's not like you can't learn. You can still learn everything that you want to learn, but you're in control of that. You're not going through their baby step process or system that they have structured to take as much money from you as they possibly can. Let's talk about Emmanuel, your career before and after. Like you went from making 12 to $15 an hour. Now you have a master's degree. And if I can preface this, Emmanuel was just telling me uh, before we went live, you've been passed up by people that had degrees without as much experience as you in the past. And now you get to leapfrog them because you have the experience and the degrees. What was your career going to be like without these degrees, and where's it going now?
So before I got the degree, what I was noticing was that like even though I worked just as hard and I was doing the same work, I was working just as hard, people who had degrees, they were getting paid more than me. Like they were doing the same jobs and making more money, higher salaries, just because they had degrees. And it wasn't, they weren't working an hour more than I was, and they weren't, I mean, I don't know if they were even being more productive, but just the fact of having that degree, they were getting paid more. That you're technically, I mean, I'm not sure what it is, but definitely now that I have that same experience, I'm the same person. I work just as hard. I have the same experience, but now also I have that degree. So now, all the people who apply for that job with either no degree or I guess you could like a lower degree, like I'm kind of ahead of them now. I don't know how to say it better, but the employers will probably now look at me first before they would consider different people before me because I didn't have a degree.
Yeah, I mean, you're instantly leapfrogging because you do have the experience. You get the degrees. Now you got the experience and the degrees. So exactly, you're leapfrogging. Another thing is, I remember that feeling of like getting a job and feeling like I had to stay there because I didn't have any other options. And I worked some jobs that I absolutely hated, and having the degrees just opens more doors and just gives you more opportunity, which is a huge, huge deal. So there is a big change. And of course, the money helps too. I'm not one of those people that's going to say like nobody can succeed without a degree because that's just simply not true. And I mean, tradesmen, they don't go to college, they go to trade school. They can make great money. They still have to go through school or whatever training they have to go through. Most of the time, whether it's trade school or college, if you go get those certifications or there's those degrees, you're going to make a lot more money and have more opportunities and better careers. So it's it changes everything. It's just a game changer. Do you feel like how did it feel when you graduated?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was awesome. It was a great achievement. Like I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud, my family's proud of me. It's something that I didn't think that was going to happen because the way my life was going before, I just started off in a job at like the very, just the very bottom. And then I moved up, I got a little raise, and then I got up to be like like a assistant supervisor, and then I got to be the main supervisor, and then I moved up, but it was slowly moving up, and the pay, they would boost you, but it would only be like a couple of dollars. You went from like maybe 8 to 10 to 12 to 15, and then they gave me like, once you're the manager, they give you like a phone stipend or something to where they pay for your phone or your internet. But it was never like some guy with a master's degree comes into a company and they give him like a three-figure salary. It wasn't even a third, it was barely a third of that. The way I was going without a degree. So now, if luck will have it, hopefully I'll walk into there with all of my experience, with my shiny new degree, and they'll give me something that that a little bit more money, which will really really help because usually it's you have a place to live and you have a car, and you're kind of surviving instead of like living. I don't know how to say it better than that, but yeah, like I see people, really nice cars, nice houses, they take vacations, and you know I was just kind of surviving. I still kind of am, but hopefully that changes now that I
Well,
have my.
you just barely got the degree. So now it's time to put all that time and energy into going to get the job. And now you have those jobs out there. There are tons and tons of opportunities. So you're going to be there. I'm confident. Now, for those of you watching, I teach people how to do this. I have a program called Degree Hacking Academy. I'm just going to leave a link to that down below in the description. So if you'd like to learn more, just click that link and there you'll be taken to a page where you can just learn more about it. Emmanuel, for those watching who are like, this is impossible, like, there's no way in heck, I can't do this. It's not for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. Any advice?
That was the reason I even came across Ryan's degree hacking program, was because I was in my job and I plateaued. I would ask for a raise and they would tell me no, but at the same time I couldn't quit because I needed to pay for my house, my car, I needed to have food. I couldn't not be working, but I plateaued and I was like, gosh, like how do I get ahead? And so I was like, and school was, very expensive if you're making only, if you're not making much money. School can cost a lot of money. It was going to cost at least $40,000, and that's a lot of debt for someone. Like that could take 10 years or more to pay off. So I was kind of stuck. I was like, how can I get ahead? And I was kind of like, I was just going through Google, like how to like get a degree for cheap or something like that. And I came across the Degree Hacking Academy, and I watched the video. And I'm usually really skeptical, but I just didn't have a choice. I was against the wall, so I pulled the trigger on it, bought the program, talked with Ryan, went through all the videos, went through the program step by step, went to school, and it worked. It worked. I finished it. I finished so fast that I literally finished so fast that I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get a master's while I'm at it.
Totally. For those watching, you are not the problem. the university system is the problem. If you take a different approach, like Emmanuel said, it works. It really does. Emmanuel, thanks so much for being here with us today. Truly appreciate your time and congratulations again. And if you're interested in learning more, click that link down in the description. If not, that's totally cool. Watch some of my other videos, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you in the next video.